We're going to talk about a few mistakes sellers are making right now when they are putting their homes on the market. So the first thing that I want to address is price. Now, when I'm talking about price, I mean that right now, just under market conditions, just under economic conditions, this is not the time to overprice your home, and hopefully someone makes you an offer for less and you can negotiate and all that. You really have to pay attention to not only the closed sales, but you need to look at what's pending, what's actually in escrow, and what was the list price it was at when it went into escrow. And then you have to look at what the active prices are in your area. For instance, let's say your last closed sale was at, say, 500,000. But now you've got homes on the market that have not sold yet at 475,000. What is that telling you? That's telling you that the trend, unfortunately, is going in a downward direction. So then you need to make a decision right then and there is, do you really need to sell? What is your motivation? I would suggest that if you don't need to sell, if you're not prepared to do whatever it takes to get your home into escrow and to move, you should probably wait and write out what's going on economically and see. If you do have a need where you've got to sell, whatever that need is, you've got a financial situation, you want to be closer to your grandchildren, you need to downsize, whatever that motivation is, that needs to be your first thought. That needs to be why you put it on the market to begin with. One of the next things is accessibility. And what I mean by that is you have to have your property available for potential buyers to see. See, there are not as many people looking at homes right now. There are not as many people just on an ongoing basis looking. Now, is that not the case in some areas? Open houses and things like that, of course. But we are factoring in just the norm. And the norm is saying that there are not as many people looking at homes like they have been in previous years. So you need to have it accessible, preferably with a lockbox. And if it's not with the lockbox, it needs to be with some hours and things like that, that buyers can come in and take a look at it, etc., etc. Or they'll just move on to the next possible or potential home that might fit their family's needs. And lastly, listen, you may have to negotiate. Be flexible and be prepared to negotiate. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean, over the last few years, you could sell a home in as-is condition. People could do their physical inspection. Odds are they were not going to ask you to do anything because they didn't want to lose the home. You may have a situation where your buyer agrees to a certain price, you're agreeable to a certain price, and for whatever reason, the appraisal doesn't come in. And in previous years, the buyers didn't want to lose the house. They'd figure a way how to come up with a difference, if possible, on their own in cash. Right now, that's not the market that we are in. So you need to understand that, and understand that although we may enter in escrow at certain terms, we may enter in escrow at a certain price, that there may be some negotiation or factors that require us to do some things to make sure that it closes. If those are things that you're not willing to do, this is probably not the time to put yourself on the market. So these are some of the mistakes, again, that sellers are making. You might as well be prepared for these types of situations before you put that sign in your yard.